In a vast galaxy, on a blue and green planet called Earth, there lived a brave soldier named Lieutenant Alex. He was known for his courage and kindness. Alex had fought in many battles, always protecting those who could not protect themselves. He loved his job, but he never imagined the challenge he would face today. One sunny morning, Alex was in the training yard with his friends. They were practicing their moves, training for their next mission. Suddenly, a message came through the communicator. The commander's voice was serious. "Lieutenant Alex, report to my office immediately." Alex felt a knot in his stomach. He quickly finished his training and rushed to the commander's office. As he entered, he noticed the commander looking worried. The walls of the office were covered with maps and pictures of different planets. Alex could see that something important was happening. "Sit down, Alex," the commander said, his voice heavy with concern. "We have received terrible news. A group of alien girls is being held as slaves on a distant planet called Xandar. They are trapped in a compound guarded by a powerful enemy." Alex's heart sank. He could hardly believe what he was hearing. He had heard stories about slavery on other planets, but he never thought it could happen in this galaxy. "What can we do to help them?" Alex asked, determination growing inside him. The commander looked at him with serious eyes. "We need a team. This mission will be dangerous. You will face armed guards and traps. But if anyone can do it, it's you." Alex nodded. He thought about the innocent girls who were suffering. He couldn't just sit back and do nothing. "I'll gather my team," he said firmly. "We will rescue those girls." The commander smiled slightly, impressed by Alex's bravery. "I knew you would say that. Time is of the essence. You must leave as soon as possible." Without wasting a moment, Alex gathered his team. He went to the barracks where his friends were resting after training. "Listen up, everyone," he shouted, capturing their attention. "We have a mission to save alien girls from slavery on Xandar. I need each of you to help me." His friends looked at him with wide eyes. They knew Alex was always ready for action, but this mission felt different. "What do we need to do?" asked Sarah, a skilled sharpshooter. "We need to prepare ourselves for a dangerous rescue," Alex explained. "We have to train hard and gather the best weapons and tools. We cannot fail." The team quickly got to work. They practiced their skills, ensuring they were ready for anything. Alex felt proud to lead such a strong and skilled group. He knew they could face any challenge together. As the day went on, they gathered equipment. They loaded their spaceship with weapons, medical supplies, and food. Each team member took on a role. Sarah checked the guns, while John, a tech expert, hacked into the enemy's security system to gather intel about the compound. The air buzzed with excitement and nerves. Finally, as the sun set, casting an orange glow over the training yard, they stood in front of their spaceship. Alex looked at his team, feeling a sense of unity. "This is our chance to do something great," he said, his voice steady. "We are not just saving the girls, we are fighting against injustice. We have to show them that they are not alone." With determined hearts, they climbed aboard the spaceship. Alex took the pilot's seat, and his team settled in. He initiated the launch sequence, and the engines roared to life. The spaceship lifted off the ground, leaving Earth behind. They were heading into the unknown, but Alex felt ready. As they traveled through the stars, Alex looked out at the beautiful galaxy. Bright planets and shining stars filled the sky, but his mind was on the girls who needed help. He thought about how scared they must be, trapped and alone. He knew they had to reach Xandar quickly. Hours passed, and the spaceship flew smoothly through the galaxy. Alex's team stayed focused, each member checking their equipment and preparing for what lay ahead. The closer they got to Xandar, the more tense the atmosphere became. They all understood the dangers that awaited them. Finally, they arrived at Xandar. The planet was vast and rugged, with high mountains and deep valleys. The compound was in a dark area, surrounded by thick walls and high towers. Alex could see guards patrolling the outside. "This is it," he said, determination in his voice. "We need to plan our approach." Gathering around a holographic map of the compound, Alex pointed out the best route. "We'll sneak in from the east side where the guards are fewer. We'll take them by surprise." The team nodded, their faces serious. They understood the importance of this mission. Alex felt a wave of hope and fear wash over him. He was ready to do whatever it took to save the girls. As they prepared to land, Alex looked at his team once more. "Let's remember why we're doing this," he said. "We fight for those who can't fight for themselves. Together, we will make a difference." With that, the spaceship touched down, and the adventure was about to begin. The journey begins. The spaceship landed softly on the rugged surface of Xandar. Dust swirled around the landing pad as Alex and his team stepped outside. The air was different here, thick and warm, with a strange smell. They could hear distant sounds of alien creatures in the jungle nearby, adding to the planet's mysterious atmosphere. Alex looked around, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. This was it. They were about to embark on a mission that would change lives. He gathered his team close. "All right, everyone. We need to move quickly and quietly. Stay alert. The guards are nearby." As they moved away from the spaceship, the dense jungle surrounded them. Tall trees with strange, colorful leaves reached for the sky. Alex could see strange animals moving between the branches, their eyes watching the newcomers with curiosity. But they didn't have time to explore. The mission was too important. The team walked in a line, with Alex leading the way. He kept his senses sharp, listening for any sounds of danger. Sarah followed closely, her sharpshooter rifle ready in her hands. John, the tech expert, was in the middle, scanning his device for information about the compound. "According to the data I hacked," John whispered, "the compound has security cameras and guards. We need to avoid them at all costs." "Good work, John," Alex said, nodding. "Keep your device ready. We might need it." They continued through the jungle, the thick foliage making it hard to see very far. The sounds of the jungle surrounded them, creating a sense of unease. Alex could feel his heart racing. They were far from home and deep in enemy territory. After a long hike through the dense trees, they finally reached a vantage point overlooking the compound. It was a massive structure, surrounded by high walls topped with sharp spikes. Guard towers loomed above, filled with watchful alien eyes. Alex felt a surge of determination. They had to save the girls trapped inside. "Let's take a moment to plan our next move," Alex said, crouching behind a bush. The team gathered around, peering at the compound below. John pointed to a spot on his device. "There's a weak point in the wall here. If we can get to it, we might be able to slip inside unnoticed." "Sounds like our best option," Alex replied. "We'll head there. Keep your eyes open for guards." As they made their way down, they had to be cautious. The guards were patrolling in groups, and Alex didn't want to take any risks. They moved silently, like shadows, through the trees. Every rustle of leaves or snap of a twig made their hearts race. When they finally reached the weak point, Alex took a deep breath. The wall was old and cracked, a good sign that it could be broken down. "John, can you disable the security cameras?" he asked. "On it," John replied, quickly typing on his device. He focused on the screens, and within moments, the cameras went dark. "It's done. Let's go." With that, Alex signaled for the team to move. They approached the wall, and Alex kicked it hard. The wall crumbled, making just enough noise to be heard. "Quick, get inside," he urged as they hurried through the opening. Once inside, they found themselves in a narrow corridor. The walls were cold and dark, with strange symbols carved into the stone. Alex could feel the weight of the air around him. This place felt heavy with sadness. "Stay close," he whispered. "We need to find the girls quickly." They moved cautiously down the corridor, listening for any sounds that might indicate the presence of guards. Alex felt a surge of anger thinking about the girls trapped here. They didn't deserve this. After a few minutes of walking, they reached a door. It was locked tight, but Alex saw a small window. He peered inside and gasped. There were the alien girls. They looked scared and alone, sitting on the cold floor. Alex's heart ached for them. "John, can you unlock this door?" Alex asked urgently. "Let me try," John said, pulling out his device. He worked quickly, his fingers flying over the buttons. The tension in the air was thick as they waited. Suddenly, there was a beep, and the door clicked open. Alex pushed it gently, and it swung wide. The girls looked up, their eyes wide with fear and surprise. "Who are you?" one of the girls asked, her voice trembling. "We're here to rescue you," Alex said, stepping inside. "You're safe now. Come with us." The girls exchanged nervous glances but stood up slowly. There were 5 of them, and they looked weak but hopeful. Alex could see that they had been through a lot. He felt a surge of determination to get them out safely. "Follow me," Alex urged, leading them back through the door. "We have to hurry before the guards find us." As they made their way back down the corridor, Alex felt a sense of urgency. They were still deep inside the enemy's territory. Every moment counted. They had to get out before it was too late. Suddenly, they heard loud footsteps approaching. Alex's heart raced. "Quick, hide," he commanded, leading everyone into a nearby room. They squeezed inside, holding their breath as the footsteps grew closer. Alex pressed himself against the wall, praying the guards wouldn't find them. The girls huddled together, their eyes wide with fear. They had come so far, but the danger was not over yet. The footsteps stopped outside their door. Alex felt his heart pounding in his chest. Would they be discovered? Would they be able to escape? The next few moments felt like an eternity. But just as Alex began to lose hope, the footsteps moved away. The guards had passed. Alex exhaled slowly, feeling relief wash over him. "Let's go," he whispered. With renewed determination, they slipped out of the room, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They had come this far, and there was no turning back now. The infiltration. Alex and his team moved quickly through the narrow corridor, hearts pounding with adrenaline. The girls followed closely behind, their eyes wide with a mix of fear and hope. Each step felt like a small victory, but they knew they weren't safe yet. They had to find a way out of the compound before the guards noticed they were gone. As they reached the end of the corridor, Alex peeked around the corner. The hall opened up into a larger room filled with strange equipment. It was dimly lit, and the air was thick with tension. "This must be their control center," Alex whispered, looking back at his team. John, the tech expert, stepped forward. "If I can access their systems, I can create a distraction. We could confuse the guards and make our escape easier." "Do it," Alex replied. "We need every advantage we can get." John moved to a console in the corner, typing furiously. The screen flickered to life, revealing maps and security feeds. Alex watched anxiously as John worked. He could hear the distant sounds of guards chatting and the thud of boots echoing through the halls. "I'm almost in," John said, his eyes focused on the screen. Just a few more seconds. Suddenly, alarms began to blare throughout the compound. Red lights flashed, and the sound echoed loudly. Alex's heart raced. "What did you do?" he exclaimed. "Just a little glitch," John said with a sheepish smile. "It should draw the guards away from our escape route." "Let's go now," Alex commanded. The team rushed out of the control center and down another hallway, adrenaline fueling their steps. As they ran, they could see guards rushing toward the control center, shouting to each other. "This way." Alex pointed to a side door that led into a darker part of the compound. They slipped through just in time, avoiding the attention of the guards. The corridor was darker, the air cooler. The walls were lined with strange symbols that glowed faintly, giving the place an eerie feel. Alex could hear the distant shouts of guards behind them, still confused by John's distraction. "We need to find a way out quickly," Alex said, leading the team through the dimly lit passage. He felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. They were counting on him, and he refused to let them down. After a few minutes of running, they came across a locked door. It was heavy and reinforced, with a keypad beside it. Alex cursed under his breath. "We can't stop now. We need to get through this door." "I can hack it," John said, moving quickly to the keypad. "Just give me a second." As John worked, Alex kept an eye on their surroundings. He could still hear the sounds of chaos behind them, but he knew the guards wouldn't be distracted for long. The girls stood nervously, glancing at each other, their faces pale. "Stay close," Alex urged them. "We'll be out of here soon." Finally, with a soft beep, the door clicked open. "Got it," John said, looking pleased with himself. "Let's go." Alex pushed the door open and led everyone through. They stepped into a small room filled with crates and boxes. It looked like a storage area for supplies. "Is this the way out?" one of the girls asked, her voice trembling. "Not yet, but we're getting closer," Alex assured her. "We just need to find a way to the exit." As they moved deeper into the storage room, Alex noticed a ventilation shaft in the ceiling. It was small, but it could lead them closer to the surface. "John, can you get us up there?" he asked, pointing to the shaft. John nodded. "I can give it a shot." He climbed onto a crate and began to push on the metal grate covering the shaft. With some effort, he managed to pop it open. "It's clear. We can climb through." One by one, Alex helped the girls and his team into the shaft. The cramped space felt hot and stuffy, but they had no choice. "We have to keep moving," he said as he climbed in after them. They crawled through the ventilation shaft, the sound of their movements muffled by the metal walls. Alex led the way, following the faint sound of voices above them. He felt the cool air as they moved closer to the outside. After what felt like an eternity, they reached a grate at the end of the shaft. Alex peered through the opening. "I think we're almost there. Just a little further," he whispered. He carefully removed the grate and looked outside. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying. They were near the roof of the compound, overlooking the vast landscape of Xander. The jungle stretched out below them, and the sun was beginning to set, casting a golden glow. But they could also see guards below, patrolling the area. "This is it," Alex said, his voice steady. "We have to climb down and make our way through the jungle." John nodded. "I'll go first and create a distraction. I can hack into their communication system and make it sound like something is happening on the other side of the compound." "Good idea," Alex replied. "Just be careful." John climbed out first, quickly moving to the edge of the roof. He pulled out his device and began typing. The others watched, hearts racing, as he worked. "Okay, I'm ready. Get down and stay low," John called out, giving them the signal. One by one, they climbed out of the shaft and onto the roof, moving carefully. Alex felt a rush of excitement and fear. They were so close to freedom. As they descended the side of the building, Alex could hear the sound of chaos from below. John's plan was working. Guards were running in the opposite direction, shouting about a breach in the compound. This was their chance. "Let's go," Alex urged as they reached the ground. They dashed into the thick jungle, blending into the shadows. The sounds of the guards faded behind them, but Alex knew they couldn't stop yet. "Keep moving," he shouted, leading the way deeper into the jungle. The foliage was dense, but it provided cover as they hurried away from the compound. They had successfully infiltrated the enemy's stronghold and escaped, but the mission was far from over. They needed to reach safety and ensure the girls were free from danger once and for all. The jungle surrounded them, filled with sounds of strange creatures and rustling leaves. But Alex felt a new sense of hope. They had made it this far together, and he was determined to see them all safely home. The rescue. The jungle was alive with the sounds of alien wildlife, but Alex and his team pressed forward, their hearts pounding with urgency. The sunlight filtered through the thick canopy above, casting dappled shadows on the ground. They moved carefully, trying to stay low and avoid drawing attention. The girls followed closely behind, their eyes wide with fear and hope. As they traveled deeper into the jungle, Alex turned to the girls. "We're almost safe. Just a little further, and we'll find a place to hide and plan our next move." One of the girls, a brave young woman named Leela, looked up at him. "Will we really be free?" she asked, her voice shaking. Alex nodded firmly. "I promise you, we will get you home. You are not alone anymore." The team pressed on, moving through the dense underbrush. The trees were tall and twisted, their branches reaching out like arms trying to grab them. But Alex was determined to protect the girls, no matter what. He led the way, his senses sharp, always on the lookout for danger. Suddenly, they heard shouting in the distance. Alex's heart sank. The guards had discovered their escape. "We need to find cover," he whispered urgently. They ducked behind a large tree, peering out cautiously. A group of armed guards rushed through the jungle, their weapons drawn. "They must have gone this way," one guard shouted, scanning the area with narrowed eyes. Alex held his breath. The guards were getting closer. "We can't stay here," he said quietly. "We need to keep moving." As the guards passed by, Alex signaled for the team to follow him. They moved quickly, trying to stay silent as they slipped deeper into the jungle. The air was thick with tension, and Alex could feel the weight of their situation pressing down on him. After a few minutes of careful walking, they stumbled upon a small clearing. In the center was a shallow creek, its water clear and cool. "Let's rest for a moment," Alex said, motioning for everyone to stop. "We need to catch our breath." The team gathered around the creek, sipping the cool water and cooling their hot faces. The girls looked exhausted, their clothes torn and dirty from their time in the compound. Alex felt a surge of anger for what they had been through. "We'll get you home," he repeated, determination in his voice. "I promise." As they rested, John pulled out his device to check their location. "According to the map, there's a village nearby. We can find help there," he said, looking relieved. "But we need to move quickly before the guards find us." Alex nodded. "Let's go then. We can't afford to waste any more time." He led the team out of the clearing, back into the thick jungle. As they made their way through the trees, Alex's mind raced with thoughts of the mission. They had come so far, but they still had to ensure the girls reached safety. He felt a sense of responsibility for them, knowing they had faced unimaginable horrors. Suddenly, they heard voices again. This time, it was not just the guards. They could hear the sounds of a group talking and laughing. Alex's heart raced. "Stay low," he whispered as they moved closer to the sounds. They crept through the underbrush and peered into another clearing. In front of them was a small village made of wooden huts. The villagers were gathered around, celebrating something with music and food. It was a lively scene, but Alex knew they couldn't reveal themselves just yet. "Do you think they can help us?" Leela asked, her eyes shining with hope. "I hope so," Alex replied, feeling the weight of his decision. "But we need to be careful. We don't know if the guards are watching." John checked his device again. "The guards are still searching the area, but we have a chance. If we can reach the village unnoticed, we might find shelter and safety." With a plan in mind, Alex signaled for the team to move. They moved quietly around the edge of the village, sticking to the shadows. The sounds of laughter and music filled the air, but Alex's focus was on finding a way to approach without being seen. As they made their way around, Alex spotted a small hut at the edge of the village. It looked empty, and he motioned for the team to follow him. They slipped inside, closing the door quietly behind them. Inside, the hut was dark and cool. Alex's eyes adjusted, and he could see simple furniture and woven mats. "We can rest here for a moment," he said, looking around. "But we need to figure out how to get the villagers on our side." Suddenly, they heard footsteps outside. The sound of voices grew louder, and Alex felt a surge of panic. "Get down," he hissed, motioning for everyone to crouch low. The door creaked open, and two villagers entered, their faces full of surprise when they saw the group huddled in the corner. "Who are you?" one villager demanded, raising a weapon. "What are you doing here?" Alex quickly raised his hands. "Please, we mean no harm. We are here to escape from the guards. They have taken these girls as slaves. We need your help." The villagers exchanged glances, and Alex could see the uncertainty in their eyes. But then one villager stepped forward, a wise-looking man with kind eyes. "We know of the guards. They bring trouble to our village. If you wish to help the girls, you must join us in our fight against them." Alex felt a rush of hope. "We will help you. Together, we can drive the guards away and ensure the girls are free." The villager nodded, determination in his gaze. "Then we must act quickly. The guards are nearby, and they will not stop until they find you." With that, Alex and the villagers began to plan. They would set a trap for the guards, using the element of surprise. As they worked together, Alex felt a sense of unity growing. They were fighting for the same cause, and he knew they would succeed. The rescue was far from over, but Alex felt ready for the challenge. With the villagers by their side, they would make sure that the girls would be free and safe at last. The chase. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows across the village. Alex stood with the villagers, ready to put their plan into action. The tension in the air was palpable as they prepared to face the guards. The girls looked on, a mix of fear and hope in their eyes. Alex knew they needed to succeed, for their sake and for their own. "Everyone, listen." Alex called out, raising his voice. "We need to be quick and smart. The guards won't expect us to fight back. Let's use that to our advantage." The villagers nodded, their expressions serious. They quickly organized into groups, each one assigned a role in the plan. Some would create distractions, while others would prepare to ambush the guards. Alex felt a sense of pride. They were working together, ready to fight for their freedom. As the villagers moved into position, Alex turned to his team. "We'll stay close to the girls and protect them at all costs. If the guards come, we need to be ready." "Understood," John replied, checking his device one last time. "I can track their movements and warn us when they are close." The jungle was quiet now, the only sounds coming from the villagers preparing for the confrontation. Alex's heart raced as he thought about what was at stake. They had come so far, but now they were on the edge of a real battle. Suddenly, John's device beeped. "They're coming. A group of guards is approaching from the north. Everyone, take your positions." Alex shouted, adrenaline surging through him. The villagers scattered into the trees, blending into the shadows. Alex and his team formed a protective circle around the girls, ready for whatever would happen next. Moments later, the guards entered the clearing, their weapons drawn. They were chatting, unaware of the danger waiting for them. Alex watched, holding his breath as the guards approached the village. "Where are those missing girls?" One guard growled, his eyes scanning the area. They couldn't have gotten far. As soon as the guards were fully in the clearing, the villagers sprang into action. They hurled rocks and debris, creating chaos and confusion. "Now," Alex shouted, and his team charged forward, weapons ready. The guards were caught off guard, stumbling backward as they tried to regain their composure. Alex rushed at one of the guards, tackling him to the ground. The fight was on, and adrenaline pumped through his veins. Around him, his team engaged the other guards, fighting fiercely. John used his tech skills to disable some of the guards' weapons, causing them to sputter and spark. Sarah, with her sharpshooter rifle, took precise shots, disarming guards from a distance. The villagers fought bravely alongside them, using their knowledge of the jungle to their advantage. They moved like shadows, striking quickly and disappearing into the foliage. Alex felt a rush of pride as he fought beside them. But as the battle raged on, Alex noticed something alarming. "We need to protect the girls," he yelled, looking back at the girls huddled together, fear etched on their faces. He could see that some guards were breaking away from the main fight, heading straight for them. "John, Sarah," Alex shouted, urgency in his voice. "We have to create a barrier to keep them safe." "On it," John responded, quickly pulling up a holographic map of the area on his device. "We can use the trees as cover. Follow my lead." The team quickly moved, creating a line between the guards and the girls. As they fought back, Alex's heart raced. They were outnumbered, but he couldn't let fear take over. They had to keep fighting for their freedom. The battle continued, shouts and the sounds of clashing weapons filling the air. Alex felt the heat of the moment, his focus unwavering. He took down another guard, adrenaline fueling his movements. He couldn't stop now. Just then, he saw a group of guards regrouping, forming a plan to surround them. "We need to push back," Alex shouted, rallying his team. "We can't let them trap us." They fought their way forward, inching closer to the girls. Alex kept his eyes peeled, making sure no guard slipped past them. "Stay strong," he urged his team and the villagers. Suddenly, one of the guards lunged for Leela, grabbing her arm. "I've got one," he shouted, pulling her away from the group. Without thinking, Alex dashed toward them. "Let her go," he yelled, fear and anger surging through him. He tackled the guard, throwing him off balance. Leela stumbled back, but quickly regained her footing, her eyes wide with shock. "Thank you," Leela exclaimed, fear still lingering in her voice. "Just stay close," Alex said, catching his breath. He pushed the guard away and turned back to the fray. The battle raged on, but slowly the tide began to turn. The villagers fought valiantly, their determination shining through. The guards were losing their grip, retreating into the jungle as chaos unfolded. "Now's our chance," John shouted, pointing toward a path leading out of the village. "We need to move." Alex nodded, rallying the girls and his team. "Let's go. We have to get out of here." As they sprinted toward the path, Alex felt a surge of hope. They had fought bravely, and now they were closer than ever to freedom. But he also felt a lingering fear. The guards would not give up easily. They raced through the jungle, dodging trees and leaping over roots. The sounds of the battle faded behind them, but Alex knew the danger was not over. They had to reach the village's edge and find safety. Suddenly, a loud shout echoed behind them. "Stop! You can't escape!" Alex turned just in time to see several guards emerging from the trees, weapons drawn. "Run!" he yelled, urging everyone forward. They pushed through the underbrush, sprinting toward the nearest cover. The girls were close behind, their fear driving them forward. Alex's heart raced as they ran, the sounds of the guards' footsteps growing louder. Just as they reached a thick cluster of trees, Alex glanced back. The guards were gaining on them, their shouts ringing out in the jungle. "We have to keep going," he urged, adrenaline pumping through him. As they darted deeper into the trees, Alex felt a renewed sense of determination. They would not give up. They would not let fear win. "Over here," John called out, pointing to a hidden cave. "We can hide in there." "Quick, inside," Alex shouted, leading the way as they all squeezed into the dark space. The cave was cool and damp, a welcome shelter from the chaos outside. They huddled together, holding their breath as they listened for the guards. Alex's heart raced, knowing they were not safe yet, but for now, they had escaped the immediate danger. "We did it," Leela whispered, her voice trembling. "We're safe." "For now," Alex replied, glancing at the entrance of the cave. "But we need a plan. We can't stay hidden forever." As they caught their breath, Alex knew they had to think of their next move. They had come so far, and he refused to let them down. Together, they would find a way to escape and reclaim their freedom. The aftermath. The cave was dark and quiet, but the air was thick with tension. Alex and his team huddled together, their hearts racing as they listened for any sign of the guards. Outside, the sounds of the jungle continued, but it felt distant now, almost surreal. The battle had left them exhausted, but they knew they couldn't let their guard down just yet. "Are they gone?" Leela whispered, her voice shaky as she peered toward the entrance. "I think so," Alex replied, trying to sound more confident than he felt. "But we need to wait a little longer, just to be sure." As they sat in the dim light of the cave, Alex's mind raced. They had fought hard, but now they faced a new challenge. What would happen next? He glanced at his team and the girls, seeing the wariness in their eyes. They needed a plan, but first, they needed to regroup. "We should take this moment to rest," John suggested, his voice low. "We've been through a lot." Alex nodded in agreement. "Let's catch our breath and then discuss our next move. We need to figure out how to get out of here safely." The group settled into a more comfortable position, leaning against the cool stone walls of the cave. The girls looked pale, their faces marked by fear and exhaustion. Alex felt a pang of guilt. They had gone through so much, and it was his responsibility to ensure they were safe. "Leela, are you okay?" Alex asked, concern etched on his face. Leela took a deep breath and nodded. "I'm just tired. I can't believe we fought back. I thought I would never escape." "You're stronger than you think," Alex replied, trying to reassure her. "You all are. We made it this far together." After a moment of silence, Sarah spoke up. "What do we do now? We can't just hide here forever." Alex glanced at John, who was still monitoring his device. "We need to find a way to communicate with the villagers. They might have a plan for us or know of a safe route. But what if the guards are still looking for us?" One of the other girls asked, her voice quivering. "What if they find us here?" Alex understood her fear. "That's a risk we have to take. We can't stay hidden. We need to move and get to safety. It's our best chance." As they sat in the cave, Alex began to formulate a plan. "We can wait until nightfall. The darkness will help us move without being seen. Then we can head back to the village and find the villagers. They can help us escape." "But what if the guards are still patrolling the area?" John asked, worry in his eyes. Alex sighed, weighing his options. "We'll have to take the risk. We've already faced danger. We can't let fear stop us now." As the hours passed, the cave remained still, the darkness enveloping them like a blanket. The girls tried to rest, but Alex could see their fear lingering. He knew they needed hope, something to hold on to. "Listen," Alex said, his voice steady. "We've faced impossible odds and fought for our freedom. We've come this far, and we're not turning back. Together, we can make it." Leela nodded, a small smile breaking through her fear. "You're right. We can do this." As night fell, the cave grew darker, and the sounds of the jungle changed. Alex felt a surge of adrenaline as he realized it was time to move. "Okay, everyone, it's time to go. Stay close and be quiet." The group carefully made their way to the cave entrance, peering out into the night. The moonlight illuminated the jungle, casting eerie shadows across the ground. Alex led the way, heart pounding in his chest as he stepped into the cool night air. They moved cautiously, their eyes scanning the surroundings. The sounds of the jungle were different at night, filled with strange calls and rustles. Alex felt a mix of fear and determination. They had to stay focused. As they made their way through the underbrush, Alex led the group toward the village. He hoped the villagers would still be waiting for them, ready to help. The path was narrow and winding, but Alex kept his pace steady, guiding the girls behind him. Suddenly, They heard a rustling in the bushes nearby. Alex froze, signaling for everyone to stop. His heart raced as he strained to listen. Were the guards nearby? After a moment of silence, the rustling stopped. What was that? One of the girls whispered, eyes wide with fear. I don't know, Alex replied, trying to sound calm. But we have to keep moving. Stay alert. They pressed on, careful to keep quiet. As they neared the village, Alex's heart lifted. He could see the faint glow of lights in the distance, but then his heart sank again. A group of guards stood at the village entrance, their silhouettes dark against the flickering lights. We can't go that way, John whispered urgently. They're blocking the path. Alex felt panic rise in his chest. We need another way in. We can't let them see us. He quickly scanned the area, looking for an alternative route. There, he pointed to a narrow path leading around the side of the village. We can sneak in through there. Without hesitation, the group moved toward the path, keeping low and quiet. The guards were too focused on their search to notice them. As they crept along the edge of the village, Alex's heart raced with each step. Finally, they reached a small opening in the village wall, just wide enough for them to slip through. Alex led the way, carefully guiding the girls behind him. Once inside, they found themselves in a dark alley, surrounded by huts. This way, Alex whispered, pointing to a spot where the light shone through a gap between two huts. We need to find the villagers and tell them we're here. As they moved through the village, the atmosphere felt tense. The sounds of the guards searching echoed around them, but Alex was determined to find the villagers. He felt a sense of urgency, knowing they needed help. Over there, Leela said, her voice full of hope as she pointed to a small group of villagers gathered near a fire. I see them. They hurried toward the villagers, relief flooding through Alex as he realized they had made it back. We're here. We're safe, he called out. The villagers turned, their faces lighting up with surprise and joy. You made it, the wise man exclaimed, rushing forward. We feared the worst. We're so glad you're safe. We need your help, Alex said, urgency in his voice. The guards are searching for us. We need a plan to escape. The villagers exchanged worried glances, but then the wise man nodded. We will protect you. We know the jungle well. Together, we can outsmart the guards. Alex felt a wave of relief wash over him. They had found allies, and now they could plan their next move. The battle was far from over, but they had strength in numbers, and he felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would fight for their freedom. A new beginning. As dawn broke over the village, the first rays of sunlight spilled across the sky, painting it in shades of orange and pink. The air was cool and fresh, a stark contrast to the events of the night before. Alex and the girls stood with the villagers, their hearts filled with hope and determination. They had made it through the battle, but now they faced a new challenge, starting a new life. After a long night of planning, the villagers had come together to devise a strategy. They knew the guards would not give up easily. We must create a safe place for you, the wise man said, his voice calm and steady. We can build a hidden camp in the jungle, where the guards will not find you. Alex nodded, grateful for the villagers' support. That sounds perfect. We need a place to regroup and rest. The girls have been through so much. Leela stood close to Alex, her eyes bright with hope. Will we really be safe there? She asked, uncertainty still lingering in her voice. Yes, Alex replied, meeting her gaze. The villagers know this land better than anyone. They will keep us safe. As the sun climbed higher, the villagers began to gather supplies. They moved quickly, working together with a sense of purpose. Alex felt a surge of pride as he watched them. They were not just fighting for their own freedom anymore. They were building a new community. Let's go, Alex called to his team. We need to help. The group divided into smaller teams. Some gathered food, while others searched for materials to build shelters. Alex joined the team focused on building, using his skills to help construct a safe space for the girls. They worked tirelessly, laughter and chatter filling the air as they constructed makeshift huts and gathered resources. The sun shone brightly overhead, and for the first time in days, Alex felt a sense of normalcy returning. They were creating something new, a place where they could feel secure. As they built, Alex spoke to the girls, encouraging them. "You've shown incredible strength. We're going to make it through this together." After hours of hard work, they finally stepped back to admire their new camp. It was simple but sturdy, hidden among the trees. The villagers had done an amazing job, and Alex felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. "This is our home now," Alex said, turning to the girls. "We can finally start fresh." Lila smiled, her face lighting up. "It looks beautiful. I can't believe we made it." As night fell, the camp came alive with warmth and laughter. The villagers gathered around a large fire, sharing stories and food. Alex felt a sense of belonging, surrounded by new friends who had fought alongside them. "Tonight, we celebrate our victory," the wise man declared, raising a cup filled with a sweet drink. "We fought hard for our freedom, and we have won." Everyone cheered, their voices rising in joy. Alex looked at the girls, who were laughing and sharing stories with the villagers. It warmed his heart to see them smile again, their fears slowly fading away. As the night wore on, Alex found himself sitting beside Lila. "What do you think will happen now?" she asked, her eyes reflecting the flickering flames. "I think we'll find our place here," Alex replied thoughtfully. "We'll learn from each other and build a life. We can help the villagers and share our experiences. Together, we can make this community stronger." Lila nodded, her expression thoughtful. "I want to help. I want to make a difference." "You already have," Alex said, smiling. "You're brave, and that's what matters. We'll all work together to build a better future." As the stars twinkled above them, Alex felt a sense of peace. They had faced incredible challenges, but now they were building something beautiful together. The fear of the past was still there, but hope filled the air. In the days that followed, the camp began to flourish. Alex and the girls helped the villagers with their daily tasks. They learned how to fish, gather fruits, and hunt for food. Each day brought new challenges, but they faced them together, growing stronger as a community. The villagers shared their stories, teaching Alex and the girls about their customs and traditions. They celebrated their victories, honoring those who had fought bravely. The bond between them deepened, creating a sense of family among them. But as they settled into their new life, Alex knew they had to stay vigilant. The threat of the guards still loomed. "We need to keep watch," he reminded the group. "They may come looking for us." The villagers agreed, forming a watch system to ensure everyone's safety. Alex took turns standing guard, feeling a sense of duty to protect his new home. He could not let fear consume them again. One evening, while on guard duty, Alex heard rustling in the bushes. His heart raced as he strained to listen. Could it be the guards? Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was John, his face serious. "Alex, we need to talk. I think I've picked up some information about the guards' movements." "What did you find?" Alex asked, his interest piqued. "They've been regrouping. They're angry about the losses they suffered and are planning another attack," John said, urgency in his voice. "We need to prepare." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "How soon will they come?" "Not sure, but I think it's time to gather everyone and share this news," John replied. "We have to be ready." Alex nodded, knowing the fight wasn't over. "Let's call a meeting. We need to strategize." As they gathered the villagers around the fire that night, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had fought hard, and now they needed to be ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. "We've built a new home, and we won't let anyone take it away from us," he declared. The villagers nodded, their faces filled with determination. They had come together as a community, and now they would stand strong against the threats that awaited them. Together, they would face the challenges ahead, united in their quest for freedom and a better future. Alex felt hope swell in his chest as he looked at the faces around him. They were ready to fight, ready to protect their new beginning. The battle may not be over, but they were not alone. They were a family now, and together they would overcome anything.